Hey, anybody who's getting in early? Hello, hello. Good to have y'all here. I'm just grabbing my coffee and then we're going to get started up. Cool, we got that new startup timer that automatically rolls over just to that text, so no more screaming Google timers set up anymore, guys. I nuked OBS just a few days ago on the 19th or 20th. Pretty much when I found out that Stream Elements was going down in flames, we had to do some changes. So here we are. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hey, it's me, your favorite green thumb, horticulturalist, bonsai enthusiast, gamer, unk, broadcaster. Hey, everybody. It's hot. Ooh. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully having a good one. Welcome. GroveSleeperPNW broadcast. Mally squeaking in from the side. What's up, girl? Here, let's get these cameras ready, guys. We have a nice long 10-minute intro like that, so I really want to get things going as fast as I can. I want to make sure that everything's running on all platforms. It really looks like we are live on all platforms. Looking good. Good so far. All right, sweet. Hope everyone's having a good day. We got some trees to work on. Let's see how our project scene is looking. Pretty good. All right, let me introduce y'all to our maple that we're going to be moving today. It's quite the tree, and it's in the biggest pot that I own, the largest ceramic pot I own. So I got to get this thing out of here. It's in need of some maintenance. It's falling down under its own weight. There's a lot of little dead branches that are making up the interior that are quite annoying. Maybe I'll just drop this right here. And then when we get announcements, it'll cover it up. Yeah, so that's what we're working with today, guys. We're gonna get this thing out of this pot, transplant it into a new pot that has a pretty severe crack, but I think that I'll be able to make it work okay. And then after that, we'll be able to start working on the azalea if you guys feel like it. Maybe if we get a little bit of a crowd in here, we can work on the big azalea tree. We're gonna be doing some cloning on that. Maybe if things are a little bit quieter, we can do some clones on some other trees that I have outside. We got options, but we're all just gonna hang out for a while and do some relaxing work on some trees. So welcome. Again, if it's your first time, I'm GroveSleeperPNW. I like to do this type of bonsai show for you guys as often as I can. Season dependent, and also dependent on what work needs to be done on the trees at these different specific times. So we're a little bit at the mercy of the seasons, but I try and pack in as much fun stuff as I can for you guys, so you can see pretty good from there. Alrighty. And I do need to do a little bit of brightness adjustment on some cameras I see, but I'll take care of those another time. For now, let's get productive, because I got a handful of hours that I want to work on this, and then this afternoon I was going to do, here in America, it is Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day holiday to my American brothers and sisters out there. Maybe you're enjoying a day off of work and hanging out with us. Hey, what's up, Tassadul? Welcome. How you doing today? Stuff's good. I'm glad to be online. Took a couple of days off, but that's all right. I needed to do a little bit of fine tuning on the trees outside. Some of them needed a little more seasonal help than others, but we got things pretty stabilized here. Now it's just about being able to reach my mic and keyboard while I'm doing these projects. Gotta turn this music down just a tad. There we go. How are you today, Tass? Welcome. Good to see ya. Yeah, turn the music down a bit. There we go. I'm usually working with Spotify, but Girlie's working on a holiday today, so she's actually got an easy day at work. She gets to just do some like heads down work, so she's listening to some podcasts and stuff on Spotify, so I decided to let her have it. So we're working with YouTube today. We'll see how that works out. But I hope you're having a good one. You been up to anything fun today? While I get my tools prepared for what is about to come. So I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need my sickle, wherever I left that, right here, and my pick. Jiggle phase. Ooh, yeah. Bacon in the kitchen. Baking some cakes. Nice, nice. Wow, you're having a wild day. That's awesome. Fun stuff. Yeah, it's a holiday here in America today, so most people are off. My favorite nursery is closed today, but we're almost about ready to go get some new nursery stock. Oh, Mally just sneezed. Gazoon tight. So yeah, I wanted to go to the nursery today and go scope out some new trees to see if they have any new potential pickups from the graveyard. But I think they're closed today because it's a national holiday, so we're just doing some work from home. Girlfriend's got easy day at work, and then we're gonna do some all-American cheeseburgers and tater tots for dinner. But until then, thought I'd be productive for a little while and get some tree work done. Just a few seconds. I noticed that both of my OBS and Twitch, when I went through and I reset all my settings, I went through and I deleted all the data logs and all of the information associated with OBS when I did my reset like 3 days ago, and it seemed to push a lot of stuff back to standard settings, or you know, their kind of crappy default settings. And so I noticed that they moved my latency. There was some latency built into the stream on OBS that I wasn't happy about, so I've been trying to do a little bit of troubleshooting along the way here. I don't know how this is going to sound on the mic, so watch out. I got to use this root cutter to release this thing. And then once I get a good cut around the outside, we'll take off the moss probably. I might leave the moss on, honestly. My fear here is that this tree is getting drowned. I didn't use the best substrate because I didn't have access to the best substrate when I planted it last season, so it's had some time to grow out. But I'm afraid it's due for a slightly early repot here. This tree also got hit pretty hard with an early frost, or sorry, an early bloom and late frost. So it had a lot of leaves out when we had some freezing weather roll through, and it took out the whole first bloom. So this tree's been having quite the time this year. Hopefully we can make things a little easier for it with some better substrate. But yeah, hopefully the delay is getting better. Hopefully some of those settings are falling back into place. I still got to like watch through some nutty videos. And, you know, some of those guys that are the OBS masters, and make sure that all my settings are correct. Because I forget about stuff sometimes. If it's been a couple of months since I've gone through all my settings on OBS, some stuff might slip my mind. Here, let me do this. I gotta spin this thing around. You guys will get a new view. Hi-ya! Oh god, this thing's heavy. Oh, it's way too heavy. Way too large of a pot for this tree. So I'm actually glad they were downgrading one size. I really want this to be my front. I like this for the front. That's why I have this little toothpick sticking in here. So we cut, cut, cut. Okay. Obviously the tree is set closer to this side, so I'm gonna have more root bind. I'm gonna run into root bind a lot earlier on this side, and I don't want to cut a whole lot of roots off of the outside of this. So we're really trying to stick close to the edge just to release the tree. Oh, thanks, Tassadul. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for
Tassadul just subscribed for 10 months.
Thank you. I hope that yeah, it looks like the generic Twitch popped up. I just glanced up at OBS. It didn't give me the sound for it, but hopefully it worked on your side. Because like I said, I had to just go and gut everything back to just generic Twitch filters or Twitch notifications and stuff. I think that I was getting too bogged down in the details. You know, I was spending so much time, sometimes, you know, a week or two, not streaming much because I'm dumping all this time into the Stream Elements chatbot, and then it's just full of bugs and it doesn't turn out how I want it to. So I gotta stop trying to be such a perfectionist on these things that are like so far out, you know. I don't need to have an engaging chatbot with an economy and gambling and all this stuff when I've literally got 2 subscribers. Shout out to our every month subscriber Tass. So thanks again, Tassadul. I'm glad that that notification popped off for you, and thank you for your ongoing support of the channel. As always, love having you here. All right, so this thing, yup. Oh boy, you guys get to see how a pretty successful season of rooting looks on this. This is some moss that I tossed into here just for safekeeping on another job. So I'm just gonna put this moss off to the side real quick. Ooh, boy, okay. This upper moss, I suppose, can stay because I think it goes all the way down to the Nabari. I don't think that it's climbing up the tree anywhere. Nah, we're looking good. This is a perfect tree though for one of these like sacred tree type scenes that I want to set up because it has such a cool Nabari. Get all the way inside, all the way through. Can use the stick and show. It goes all the way through here. Clear through there, clear through there, clear through here and here. The trunk on this thing is awesome. It's just the canopy that I've got to get back under control, and the root system. Always try to do stuff no one will ever see. Yeah, I know. That's kind of how I felt recently, and I haven't known, you know, how I feel about it. On the one hand, I just want to keep doing this stuff for relaxation and fun and not look at the viewer count, you know. But at the same time, I kind of care, you know, because I do want to bring more people in. We've got a few really cool viewers from different time zones. So I'm trying to find, you know, that real specific time zone that works best, that I can get you guys over in Europe. And I can also catch some American audience in the evening. Anybody who might be interested, if I do real late night stuff, it's actually like morning in Japan, so maybe if I start putting like some Japanese translation into my titles, I can get some folks from the other side of the world watching. My Japanese isn't very good, but I'm working on it. Okay, so I'm seeing a pretty good idea of what our full lift is gonna look like here. I found my wire that's holding the tree in, and it's not doing a very good job. This is super loose out here. Wow. Okay. This is so loose, I think I can pull it all the way out. Alright. I guess it's time to move to tray mode. Huh. The thing I'm most worried about is this IKEA table that this thing is on. I really don't want it to collapse on me. Huh? Man, this thing's heavy. Good God, it's like 50 pounds. Oh. Alright, so let's just start emptying some substrate first. Make this thing lighter. It's full of really heavy dirt over here. That's not good. Lava rock is fine, but there's just too much heavy dirt holding in way too much moisture over here. Ugh. And yeah, maybe nobody will ever see it, but at the same time, I'm getting my practice in. I'm getting my practice in one way or another. Even this last month or so, I've been thinking about it, is that I'm a member of our local Bonsai Society, but they only meet up like twice a month, you know? And it's mostly older folks that are, you know, just kind of treating this as their retirement hobby. So they've got a lot of money, they got a lot of time, but they also don't take it all that seriously. They're kind of just enjoying their lives and doing their thing. They do this a little on the side. I think I take it a little more seriously than some of them. Mostly because I don't have a bunch of other like outlets to, you know, put my energy into. And I don't have a whole ton of money to have, you know, a golf habit or anything like that. Much as I would like to go golfing. Boy, oh boy, this is a damn mess in here. All right, I'm pulling out the pick. So see where my root ball's starting. It is pretty. It goes almost from one end of the pot to the other, but it should fit in my other one that I freed up yesterday. All right. I'm using the pick because I don't want to bare root this thing. I just want to break it up and kind of aerate it, and then I'm going to be mixing in some better substrate, some akadama and some lava in here. It's going to be much, much happier than all this dirt. Just having this much rich soil like this throws off the growth patterns, the seasonal patterns, all that stuff. It needs to be in a healthy, fast draining substrate. And this pot is draining, it's just retaining way too much moisture in the process. So even if I give it a whole day to dry out, if I still have real wet moisture coming out like this in my dirt, it's gonna be a root rot situation if I don't fix this soon. Root rot is the worst, man. You think you're taking extra care of your trees by watering them a lot, and you end up just drowning them and rotting out the roots. It's a real delicate balance. All right, this stuff all the way out here is just completely mud. All along this outer close side to you guys, this is just mud. That's not good. It needs to be about 10 to 15% organic material like that. Just straight mud and dirt. The rest needs to be sphagnum moss, akadama, and then I've got some big grit lava rock for the bottom for a nice drainage layer, and smaller grit for around the roots so that it doesn't do so much damage. Okay, I got a tip. Take a look at what I got going on underneath real fast. Looks like one copper wire holding it in from one end to the other. Just doing that right now. And it goes through the filter, which I'm going to be replacing. All right, I just want to straighten out my wire as much as I can, because the longer you work with it all like bent out and kinky, ooh, the longer it'll take to go straight again, and it looks like I'm losing dirt. Okay. Ooh, okay, don't want to lose dirt. How much did I lose? All right, sweet. Got the new safety rug down. Seems to be working good. Boy, these got put in at kind of awkward angles.
Tassadil just redeemed dog treat.
This was going underneath a giant decorative rock that did not need to be in this piece at all. It just made it even heavier. Ugh. These wires. Ugh. Sometimes fixing an old job that was done hastily is worse than just taking a little extra time, guys. Do it right the first time.
Tassadil just redeemed wasted nuts.
I'm gonna pull this out. This is why you don't want to use alloy of wire that's too hard to bend, because you can't end up pulling it out like this. Copper works awesome. It's just very expensive. Copper costs so much. You have TTS on all my channel point things? Oh, really? Is it giving TTS? I'm not even hearing it. Is it giving a TTS message when you're doing those? I didn't even hear it pop up when you do the 2 redemptions. I gotta keep adjusting my outputs because it's not going to my monitors when I'm getting some of these updates. Come on, wire. Whew. This thing's a pain in the butt. I'll get Mally a treat in a minute. She's sleeping right now. I'm glad she didn't hear that. Whew. God damn, I'm gonna make myself sweat doing this. All right. Come on, tree. Trying to release you here. Here we go. Told you I went a real bad route in. I might have to pull the tree out before I can even get this. Let's just pull the tree. All right. I don't think it's being held down anywhere else. So I'm gonna get a nice tight grip. Oh wow, okay. This is actually gonna be easier than I thought. Nice. Ooh, look at all those roots. Yeah, all those roots were reaching into it. Sorry, what's that? Whew. All those roots were definitely reaching out towards the far end. You guys can see the bottom of this is all just lava and actually pretty good drainage, but not what I'm going to be using for my azalea, so it's got to come out. Actually, this isn't too bad for the azalea. It's just that I've got to put a lot of other fine grit stuff in here, so I think I'm just going to leave this off to the side and ready for the azalea when we're ready to put it in there. So yeah, that's the best thing to do right now. Let's just get this tree repotted. Okay, so here's our new pot. This is the one from a hemlock. I pulled my mountain hemlock out of this pot because I didn't like how it was growing either. It was getting drowned quite a bit. So I put it into a trainer and we freed up this bad boy, which should be a perfect size actually for this thing's root ball. This thing was filled, the basin I just pulled this tree out of right here. Here's what your root mass looks like. That tree came out of a pot that was way too big. It had a solid like 5 inches of drainage layer on the bottom. This is a way better sized pot. Way, way, way better. All right, let's put this down here. I don't need another drain. So I've already got this pot pretty much set up here, guys. I've got drains in there, and I've got 1 copper wire going straight across to secure it, and that should be fine as long as I put it on the right side. So now I guess we're ready to do our drainage layer. Let's see, is some of this stuff good for drainage on the other pot? It's just very fine. Stuff's really fine. The more fine it is, the heavier it is, the more sand-like it is, and the more likely it is to clog up. And the deeper that I dig into that last pot, it does get real kind of mucky down towards the bottom. This is almost like sand, see? You might be able to see better on this camera. So, yeah, the sand is just gonna clog up the drain holes. So I'll do something. I'll recycle that old substrate that's taking up the bottom. I might need to rinse it, but I'm just gonna put fresh lava in. Here it is. Fresh lava over that. Fresh lava over that to make sure that our drains are nice and secure. Got him. All right. Dusty, dusty, dusty. All right, cool. So now our drainage layer is only about an inch or so instead of 5 inches. That was ridiculous. Whatever this last pot was in was not a good substrate mix at all. Okay, so here comes the tough part. I'm gonna have to cut off a lot of the organic material without disturbing the roots. I wanna do as little destruction to roots as I can here. My main intention is just to fill in with some of this akadama around the root ball so that it doesn't get beat up so badly. And then I've got some fine and medium grit lava. Some of this stuff might work too, actually. But first things last, we gotta get this thing cleaned up a little bit. We gotta give it maybe a bit of a haircut. But at the very least, we need to open these roots up. Oh, I didn't see that one come up either. Thank you. We gotta get you a kill, like a kill count. We'll get you a little gold star every time you pick one of them off, like a fighter jet ace. Gets like a sticker on his helmet, a little skull. Bogey down. Ooh. Yeah, I like this pick so much more than a rake, because I know that if this was a root rake, it would be taking out and doing a lot more damage to these little fine roots, but if I just have the single stick that I can get in, it actually knocks out quite a bit without disturbing as much. I gotta get this root mass back to radial, but my problem is that I don't want to cut a lot of the roots, so I'm just gonna try and break them up and then rearrange them so that it's got more of that quick drain substrate, more of the lava built into this area especially, where it's holding a ton of moisture and having a lot of root growth. Because I want to make sure that it grows into a nice healthy environment and not what this is. This is not good bonsai soil at all. But there's some root lock going on these sides. So I mean, this tree is definitely growing roots. This should encourage another nice big root blast this summer. I'm not even gonna trim off the stuff on the bottom. I'm just gonna tuck it back under after I break up the bottom some more. So I'm gonna just work from my way at the bottom up, and I'm working my way in towards the main root ball all the time. I'm always making my way in towards the nabari, the root spread, because that's where everything needs to radiate from. I got some roots here that are growing long enough, long tap roots that are starting to loop around the pot, and those are the ones that I want to catch, because those are what really cause a lot of congestion when they start wrapping around the whole pot like that. So I just take my root cutter and I just chop them off just like this, because look, even though it's such a big thick root, there's no little fine roots coming off of it, so it's really not that useful of a root. This stuff down here, the fine stuff, especially the little white ones, those are gold. The only places that I want big fat roots is if I'm trying to go like root over rock style. And I've got a few really cool small trees training that way. Some really awesome junipers that are doing this over rock, root over rock, or growth over rock look. And when I was just kind of looking at them, I spent a lot of time out back just looking at my trees and just thinking. And I should invite you guys out there more often, like do some shorts or just like short streams where we talk about ideas of like what we can do with different trees, because I can show them to you one after another faster. I've got a yew that I put onto a slab of flagstone that's gonna look really cool if I put a bunch of gin and shari on it and make it look like a fallout tree, just real, you know, wind busted, high desert look. And that's a tree that we could work on today if we feel like it. Or we might roll straight into the azalea. I haven't decided quite yet. I had to spend about $30 on a very, very, very specific soil additive for my azalea. I believe it's called Anakama, which is different than Akadama. This stuff. This is Akadama. It's a very it's almost a clay-like rock, so it holds moisture nicely, but it also drains fast. So it's a really good substrate for trees, bonsais especially, because it drains out really quickly, but it holds onto that moisture and all the clay that's inside of that Akadama. Well, Anakama, I believe it's called. You guys can fact check me on that. It's something close to that. It's a more acidic version. And why would you want an acidic substance near your plant? Well, the answer is that azaleas and rhododendrons and orchids and a handful of other flowering exotic plants especially, not ones from the Pacific Northwest, or from, what should I say? More temperate areas. These were originally from the Pacific Northwest, so they grew really well in the volcanic soil that's out in that area. Now I live in a place where the soil isn't quite as good for it, so I have to add that Japanese imported substrate additive, and it looks a lot like Akadama, but it's a little more yellow. And the stuff that I have in particular is very fine. It's very fine. It's almost like sand. Boy, oh boy, this is getting root locked all the way over here. Yeah, this thing's gonna be happy after this. This is a sign that your tree wants to keep growing, but it's just run out of room. So right around the outside, we're gonna just keep breaking it up so we can make it radial. I don't think that I have to remove this upper layer of moss or hose off the nabari. I think we've exposed all the nabari that we need to expose on this tree. So that's good, because that means that we don't have to go up as aggressively towards this center area. Although this one root does reach clear out to here, so it's gonna pretty much span the whole length of the pot. And I'm hoping that I don't have to cut that big chunk off any worse. Cool, so now as you guys can see, I'm starting to get to the point where most of the roots are starting to fall loose, except for that top maybe like 2 inches. There's a nice little 2-inch layer that I'm not gonna disturb at all. But everything below that, we need to break it up, because we're gonna integrate it with all that lava rock. Yeah, I thought that I turned on text-to-speech for tips that are like over $1. Because I thought that that might be a nice little incentive. But I'm not going to have a channel where text-to-speech gets spammed, so hopefully it's not turned on to every redemption. But if it is, feel free to spam it until I fix it. Have your fun. I can't stop ya. Just keep it appropriate. Don't get me banned. I know you won't, Tass. Okay, let's go. Let's go this side now. We gotta really get into the grundle of this thing. Ooh. Okay. Time to cleanse the grundle. Yep. Yep. At least I had the clarity of mind to leave some nice like sandy substrate right underneath the tree. So a lot of these little guys are coming apart nice and easily here, and they're easily gonna find new direction in the substrate that we're gonna inject in between all these roots. And I really, really hope I'm not being too aggressive. I'm trying to be very, very gentle, guys. Like, not break any root system off. Only agitate it. If it was a different time of season, if I was doing this like, you know, later in the evening, or sorry, later in the season, I should say, after a lot of the leaves are starting to turn brown and go, that means that you can usually expect that it's getting into more of a dormant state, and you can be a little more aggressive. This is not in a dormant state right now at all. It's growing fast in the summer, but again, my concern was number one, lack of basins, and number two, I knew this was root locked. And I think that I'm gonna be able to get a nice new big expanse of leaves coming off of the top of this thing, since it did get kind of cooked earlier this season due to some bad circumstances with the weather. Yeah, this is all just dirt. This is all dirt. I'm not losing any root mass here, guys. All just oversaturated organic substrate that needs to be removed. I was pretty nervous about this going into it. I was afraid that I wasn't going to find a lot of super healthy root growth, because maybe it's too soon since my last repotting, but this thing's been taken off. It'll be okay. Yeah, these corners loosen up quick. Once you get kind of those, here's a good example of a radial root lock. I can see it all the way on this side. Yep. I told you, this was kind of the side that was closer to the edge of the basin, so you can see that the, ooh, I'm running into the white roots now. Okay. Some of these are circling around. Yeah, and turning thick, so a couple of these might get a little chopped down this way. We'll have to see. I don't want to cut off any main line. Super important. Hydration line for the tree, but actually I'm starting to see that I can pick in a little bit further to get to the actual root ball. This is all circular roots out here. I just don't want to cut them. I feel a little bit nervous cutting them off at this time of year. Normally that would be part of a normal grooming, is quite a bit of a haircut, but at this point of the year when it's growing like this, I don't want to take a bunch off. It's just going to be due for another repot in maybe another year or so. This part's real thick in here. Boy, oh boy. This corner got real stumped. But this is good, because now I'll be able to break off a couple of these radial roots, or sorry, circulating roots that are blocking from the radial pattern. So these radials are going clear out to here. And it's gonna give me the ability to kind of pull them outwards again instead of in a circle. Nice, nice, nice. God, I might just hose off the bottom, guys, like really quick, just to remove any last gasp of organic, but I think we're getting closer to a 10% organic like ratio. Getting closer to that 10% organic, and I am gonna stuff some sphagnum moss around these roots to help protect them too. So I think most of our organics are in line here. It's just these big circular roots that are bugging me, because I'm divided on whether I should take them or not. This one's very big. Maybe I'll just get behind it and try and break up more. Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on, you're all gonna have a good time when we get you released. I promise. I also don't want to damage the tree while I'm doing this, so gotta make sure that I don't tip it at a bad angle like that. There we go. Picking away, taken away. Oh yeah. All right. Ooh, let's see how she looks now. Yup. Yup. Okay, this side. Yeah, thanks for the contribution, Tassadul. Hopefully the next 12 months will bring me enough success that I can get a little workshop outside to do this in, because I would so much rather be doing this with you guys out in the sunshine, nice bright outdoors. And you know, there's some opportunity for me to put it up in my backyard, but it's gonna be really cool when I can finally afford a small workshop. Real estate's really expensive where I live right now, so it's kind of tough, but I'm really working hard towards it. First thing I had to do was close down the bakery because it was just costing me money. It was costing me money every single month, and I just wasn't using the services anymore. So I'm not cooking right now. So I gotta find something to keep my mind busy. Plastic tent, yeah, I've got so many like pop-up canopies because I did so many farmers markets and stuff. Yeah, one of these days, probably later this week, I want to do an outdoor stream with you guys where I work on my giant blue star juniper. It's huge. I can't pull it in the house. It's too large. It'll be like brushing up against every doorway the whole way. But I've got a really amazing, huge blue star juniper, and it's just been growing kind of out of control for the last couple of years. Kind of like my Azalea has. And that's what makes it kind of a fun project, is because it's almost back to like a field tree. It's almost back to a Yamadori. It's grown out so much that it looks like something that you'd find out in the wild. It doesn't even look like a nursery tree anymore. It's starting to look more like a actual natural Yamadori. So I'm excited to work on that. And I'd like to do an outdoor stream for that. I'm just gonna have to get my battery up on my phone. And then I can set up a couple of tables. I've got some like big industrial spools that I like to work on. All right, I don't think I can do too much more busting this without doing damage. But yeah, I also think that just the outdoor vibe will be nice. Doing a couple of streams outside might attract more people just because we're outdoors, you know? Make it look like I'm making drugs. Yeah, put up like little plastic curtains all over the place. Rev up the mini chainsaw behind there. Scare the neighbors. Nah, they know that I work on trees. They also know that that's about all I do. So like they catch me out back all the time. They're like, Chris, what are you doing? Working on the trees, working on the plants, working on all of our amazing yard flowers. By the way, I don't even know if you guys can see. Oh, they're kind of shrunk. I'm gonna grab some new flowers for you guys today. I've got flowers blooming out back like crazy. These ones are a couple of days old, but I think these are peonies. A couple of big peonies, and there's 3 little white roses. So that was actually going to be my microphone setup. I got it all tied up like this. I was going to pop it on my microphone for some gaming, but oh no, see, they're losing their petals now. It's been like 3 days since I cut them. But God, they smell good. Oh my God, they smell so good. Oh, big penis. Big old penis. Yeah, we got big old peonies. I got a whole, I got a bush. I got a bush that grows peonies outside. More peonies than I can handle, really. It's like it's coming out of every hole when I look back there. I just turn around and I'm like, my God, look at all these peonies. And then I'm also gonna have, I'm not hydrangeas. What are those? God, it's the name always escapes me. Hibiscus flowers. The hibiscus flowers are on the way. Those are very Hawaiian looking. I love the hibiscus flowers. But they're a little bit after the peonises have their time in the garden. And then roses. Right now I've got little white roses developing, but all of my big red ones aren't here yet. But it is fun during that time of season, if I do some gaming streams, to have them up on my microphone, because they just look so pretty on the OBS. Okay, what do we got here? See these big circular roots? They're not looking so circular anymore. Now they're starting to fall down. Down, down, down. Good. And I am doing root trauma right now, guys, so I think I gotta stop. I'm gonna pull these out, out. Yep, that's all that we're gonna do for that. Okay, so I'm gonna try and move somewhat quick here. Put in some more lava for the edges. This is the large lava. This is the stuff that's most likely to damage roots, but it's also pretty lightweight high drain substrate. So I put this all the way around the outside and for the bottom maybe ½ inch to hold my drainage in place. But I try not to put any of this directly up against my root ball. Instead, we're putting in the akadama. I got 40% or so akadama going in right around this area where I'm dropping the root ball. I've also got some sphagnum moss. This stuff is so good for giving kind of that bridge between organic and stone. So again, about 10% of the volume needs to be the sphagnum, and I'm gonna say about that. And I'm mixing this with the akadama because this stuff is just, trees love this. This is like one of the best mixes you could possibly make for bonsai. This is like the legit real stuff. I don't cut corners often. If I could afford akadama all the time, I would. But this bag is like 50 bucks. And as you can see, it's almost gone. So if I can get a truckload of lava rock and separate it myself, I will typically end up doing that. All right, so now I've got this nice big layer of sphagnum and akadama. Let's see how that looks. See ya. All right, a couple of those flower petals fell in as well. All right, and now I'm just gonna put in a little bit of fine akadama mix, or sorry, fine lava mix. This stuff is not very sharp because it's been sifted down to such a small grain. So this is gonna make up a big portion of what else goes in here. Just like that. And now it's all mixed up. And I'm probably gonna have to remove some of it after I mix it up. I just wanna know that I have the right volume for the container here. This is looking pretty damn good. See, this is a proper bonsai mix right there. That's proper. Oh, sweet, I think my girlfriend just got home. All right, so let me do a couple things here. First thing I want to do is pull some of this substrate so that I can sprinkle it back on after. Tools go right here. Volume looks good. Pull the substrate. I'd almost want to start putting water on my root system here, but we're about to be done, so let's just quickly push out everything here. See how she fits. And again, roots outward. I think I want to spin it. Do I want to spin it? No, I don't think so. But I can go a little bit lower. So let me pour some more of this out. There, 1, 2. This is gonna be a perfect sized basin for this. Just like I said, this is a little smaller than the last basin it was in, so I may have actually made too much substrate, but that's okay. I'll just roll it over into the azalea. There, okay. So I want this bottom part to be packed down a bit. What's up? You're back. You wear casual clothes to work?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Street clothes today.
Street clothes, nice.
People still stop me around.
Ugh. Alright, I'm just busting this back into place here. Except I'm divided on if I should take off any roots. I think I'm gonna leave the roots. I have to leave the roots. I can't pull any more off. I just want to break them up. And then again, like I said, guys, we're going about 10% organic stuff in here, so I'm just trying to break it out right now into the pot, because this is where we're going to be mixing the organic substrate and all of that stone that we just put in. I feel obligated to trim some of these outer roots here. These just seem a little too big. They are going to cause more root lock problems if I leave them. There. There. And now I can actually pull them out into a direction. Okay, so out, 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 out. Out and down, out and down, out and down. Yep, yep. Crack this down in here. Let's see if I can get this thing standing exactly how I want it to. So I'm supposing that this will be my front. I've got to pull up the moss here so that I can backfill. Yeah, definitely need to pull the moss up so I can get backfill in, especially on this side. But I do want it sitting up above the edge of the pot a bit, so that all looks pretty good. So here we go. Let's start filling it up after we get it positioned. Okay, okay, okay. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I'm just gonna pull this straight across. And where's my other wire? Right here, huh? Yeah, this is gonna be a similar setup to the last time I had it. I'm gonna have it cross over and hold in on the part of the nabari that starts going underground. It hopefully won't mar up the branch too badly there, but should definitely hold it in place. And then I'll just send this wire down and in so it doesn't catch my finger. All right, time to backfill the sucker with better substrate. Start on my side, and I'm just packing in. Right. So I'm just going to do a nice solid first layer around the outside of all of this. That's going to be way better in this area. This is going to be way better in this top right area here. My top right, this spot. Yep. And I know it's over the ledge here, but I'm going to be packing it in with my little poking stick and probably repositioning the tree just a bit to stand a bit higher. More like that. So I better start. I'm just holding the branch back by the trunk and then packing into the front. I want to pack underneath so that this thing stops moving on me. Yep, okay, and then this is how we're going to slowly raise this thing up while integrating it into the good new substrate. Some of these real outer roots could be getting beat up a bit right now with the Akadama push and the lava rock push, but it's okay. Shouldn't be too damaging. Okay. All right. Pack a little more in here. And then anybody who's familiar with the channel at all will know I'm about to get in here with my favorite little plastic poking stick and just start jamming this Akadama in so that it's integrated with the new roots that have been all nicely released and liberated here. I'm really hoping that there's going to be a solid outer drainage layer that'll quickly start picking up new roots. Even though we have downgraded in size a little bit for our pot. You know, one of the objectives for bonsai for a lot of trees is to get it eventually into a smaller and smaller pot. As you take more and more material off the tree, you can typically get it into smaller pots as time goes on. Or you might be trying to let a tree get bigger and bigger. This is one I'd like to... It doesn't necessarily need to be bigger, it just needs to be better styled. It's not well styled right now. Okay. So it's a pretty nice even little spread there, I guess. Alright, let me find my nice poking tool. Hopefully not buried. Nope, right here. And I think that it's time I can move this dirt out of our way. Look at all this organic material I took out, guys. This was just rotting. Had to come out. The tree wouldn't have lasted another season like that. And hopefully this isn't too abusive to it right now. Too large of an insult for this time of the season. I'm just using my little pokey stick to get all of this Akadama poked inwards and downwards. It's really going to hold the tree in place alongside that wire and also keep air in between our root system so we don't end up with another root lock like that. It's our preemptive care for that. And then once I get as much of this poked in as I can do some final adjustment to where I want the tree to stand. All right, you guys will get the view now. See, look at, just with a few presses and a few pushes, how much of this just gets buried down into the bedrock here. The tree's starting to take form a little more, I can tell. It's tightening in place against the wire that's holding it from the top. So you've got upward and lower pressure, all holding it into place exactly where I want. Perfect. Just trying to pack as much of this in here as I can. Go. See, this is some of the good content for like late night ASMR. I'm thinking I need to do a late night ASMR stream where I don't do anything but like Akadama work and clipping. And I turn the mic up and I get it real close. And I just don't say anything. I just keep my mouth shut. And we just do ASMR bonsai. I wonder if it'll catch on. I'll whisper to you guys. We're packing in the akadama now. On the back side that was showing a little bit of downward slope. Hopefully we secure the tree better this way. I'll have to work on my ASMR voice. Because I think my general streaming voice isn't all that great, so maybe I need a filter or something. ASMR filter. Quick. I blew a hole in one of my gloves. Look. That's alright. This back part's coming together nice here. Tree is pretty well centered for how it's gonna cooperate with me either way. Let me just turn it real fast. Okay, hopefully that's not horrible on your guys' ears when I do that. Ah! Leaving a couple little spots here without any moss over them. The moss will spread eventually, but really I just want to make sure that I can keep an eye on the akadama here and see that it's staying dry in between my waterings. Or that it's drying out between waterings, maybe I should say. Because if it's not drying out between waterings, that means I'm drowning it anyways. So it's good to have some akadama here because it changes color when it's moist and when it's dry. So it's a good way to keep track of the dryness of your tree in real time. I'm sure this thing's drying out like crazy right now and it's not happy about it. So I'm gonna try and work quickly through the last segment here. I'm just doing fast pushes with all of my substrate in. And then usually I like throwing a little bit of the moss over the parts of the edge where I could see the akadama flying off. Some people like to put a little piece of like fencing, I guess, like screen. You put a piece of screen over everything so that when you water it, your rocks don't fall out. Since you're usually using like a shower, or a stream, or a, you know, hose of some type that could blow all of your substrate out. So that's why I like to stick a little bit. Oh, hey, look, it got cut on the wire, it turns out. So I like to throw as much of that live moss back on there as I can, just around the edges especially, like I said, to keep the akadama from flowing out. Right now I'm gonna have my wire exposed, which I don't love, but I can cover that up later as well. So I'm just pressing this back onto the edge of the akadama here. There we go. There's most of what we had to start to work with our moss. So our moss is pretty much used up here. Tree looks like it's in a better position. Let me just pack a little more in this way. This is more of an upright stance for it, so let me pack some more stuff down this way. See, it's as easy as this, guys. You just turn your tree the way that you want it. Pack in some of these rocks. Sometimes it's useful to put in like one large rock or a big piece of bark to kind of hold things in place. But really the proper way to do it is just to pack the akadama and the lava in, because it's just going to be a much healthier thing for so close to the root ball. There. Okay, I'm thinking I like where this is sitting better. Sure looks better positioned than the last pot. I feel pretty good about that. really want to push this stuff in as much as I can to hold it all in place, and then I'm going to take it outside and water it, guys. After we give it a good watering, everything should start to settle into place. And it's also going to save our roots from drying out too much worse from how they are already. I might even try and find one more little bit of moss to stick on the edges here, just to hold all of our stones in place. This is just some wet sphagnum, but once it gets wet, it'll kind of hold in place. I'm just kind of sprinkling that across the top of the akadama here so that the akadama doesn't fall off as easily. Put some back here on this side. That little drain hole that I wanted to keep an eye on. They said I can just lift up this sphagnum and see if it's looking dry under there. Not to mention the existing live moss will want to grow and spread onto the sphagnum as well. So yeah, just a nice little layer of that across the top. I know it's going to be draining through fine, so I'm not worried about a little moisture being held on top with some of the sphagnum. And boom. I think that's a project down, guys. Successful quick repot of this bad boy. GG. I can't see the side as well as you guys can, but I can tell that it needs more substrate in here. I can feel the spots that are loose. They need to be backfilled a little more. Just comes with the experience, I suppose. Alright, so this will look pretty cool, I think, after it starts to get watered down and filled in. All the substrates will blend together to look nice again. Sweet. Alright, well there's something to be proud of today, guys. We got another job done. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. And I think I also have enough leftover substrate from this that I actually have a good substrate to put some cuttings from some spruce out in my yard. I've got a couple of little spruce that are growing in my yard. Or not spruce, they're probably junipers. That I want to cut the tops off and propagate, so I might go cut those off real quick and just knock that project out too while we're online. But first I got to get this thing outside and soaked immediately. So there's the repot. Oh, and look, see, this is what I'm talking to you guys about, how it's literally breaking under its own weight, especially with some very unhealthy bits of branch here. There's more just straight dead branch I could pull off, like this piece. This piece is completely dead. Dead undergrowth. Yeah, this tree has been in need of some ICU help. The repot hopefully will be healthy for it, and I'll be able to start reforming some of my leads and getting this thing back under control. But yeah, it got cooked once already this year. Had an emergency repot now. I'm gonna see where it goes from there. I wish there was a way to save this as a propagation, but it's just very unlikely. I might be able to take one here. The thing with trying to propagate these is that I've got to pull all these leaves off down to just 1 or 2 leaves, so they won't even look that impressive anymore once I'm done. Alright, well, I think that means that it's time for me to pull this thing out of here, clean up my room a little bit, and oh my gosh, I've lost more than I thought. Look at all this. Wow, it's already like pruning itself off like crazy. My God. We've lost this much material, guys. So really, I probably could have taken a bit of root and it would have been okay. But we've lost this much material just with the repot there, but it did clear up this end. So this side looks more like a front now that you guys can see from here. Just like this. There we go. That's probably a better view of the entire plant like that. Kind of see how I could turn that into like a Deku tree or something. Just needs the eyes right here. It's already got the big mouth. I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff I could do with this tree. I'm not sure what though. So I just wanted to make sure that I got it spruced up for the spring a little bit. Hasn't had a whole lot of love this season. So hopefully this new substrate will be a better situation for it. And hopefully getting rid of some of this stuff that was just so brittle it was ready to break off anyway is going to help, you know, encourage more ramification like this further in on the tree. I'd like a nice canopy to grow out of here, but it's going to need some training as well. So more to do, but for now we're going to get it outside, get it into some sunshine, and give it a nice solid watering. So thanks everybody for hanging out for the first segment there. Spruced up when it's not a spruce. I mix spruce up all the time. I think I made a post the other day about a spruce. I was like, oh, look at this buffalo spruce that I've been working on, and like the first comment was, that's a juniper. And I'm like, you're right, that is a juniper. I've been working on a nest spruce that doesn't look so hot either right now, but it's bouncing back. The repotting on my spruce definitely killed off some of the tips, but it seems like it's got new growth coming back. So yeah, we spruce up every type of tree. We don't discriminate. Every tree can get spruced up every now and then. But yeah, the nest spruce is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna kill off the right side of it with gin and shari, and then just have the top alive. That'll definitely be kind of a fallout looking tree. High desert, post nuclear blast look. This is all that I cut off for roots this round. Not much. We lost way more foliage than root system. You know, America had, I think it was an American plane. America had plans for a plane. I don't know if they ever made it. Called the Spruce Goose. And it was literally a plane made out of wood. The Spruce Goose. You should look it up. That's kind of cool. Piece of aviation history. Alright. I gotta get this outside and watered. So I'm gonna hit the BRB. I might run a quick ad. I gotta say hi to my girlfriend because she just got back. And I lost my coffee as soon as I started the stream, so I haven't had any of that. And that's a problem. Oh. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, Tassadul. I'm sure there's a million more interesting things you could be doing today, but I appreciate you having a hangout here. Oh man, Stream Boo is pushing AI viewers now. That's crazy. That's the first AI viewers at Stream Boo that I've seen. Usually it just says get free or cheap viewers. They're straight up crossing into agent territory now. That's bold. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm the same way. If I'm just goofing around and like working on OBS offline or something, I usually will have like, you know, Nub Zombie and Arvo and you if you're up, if I can pop into yours. Try to say hi to Hexy. I think Hexy's gonna try and help with my Baldur's Gate Bonsai collection. I think we're gonna just roll in right at the beginning of Baldur's Gate and take over the grove from the druids, and it's gonna be our grove from now on. And I'm gonna try and get as many, I'm gonna try and like exploit as many bonsai into the game as I can. So he thought that'd be fun. He's way better about the mechanics and everything of Baldur's Gate than me, so his help will be monumental. Alright, let's see. Let's throw this outside. And then let me cook for a second. Let me look at what we got outside. Do you want to tear up a yew tree? Do you want to repot an azalea? Do you want to do some cloning of the azalea? Do you want to play some games? I'm up for whatever. I'm chilling because it's a holiday. I gotta make some dinner in a little bit. I mean, it's only 3 o'clock right now, local, but I'm down for whatever. So, yeah, here, I'll pop the BRB up for a second because I'm gonna be swapping out trees. There we go. How's the basic OBS looking? I know like the frames aren't optimal and they're like all over the place, but hopefully OBS is acceptable enough. All right, I gotta pull this heavy ass thing outside, so I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Go get a stretch, drink some water, say hi to your neighbor, do whatever. Enjoy moments while we're at break like this for what it is. Ooh, my watch. Okay, be right back. I'm picking up a side quest really quick. I was doing cloning on my junipers yesterday, and I have some more that I wanted to get popped in off of some other trees I had out in the yard. So I want to pick through this and try and find as many good starts as I can, so that maybe we can get some more of those forest scenes put together later this year, or at least in a couple of weeks, a handful of weeks. So we'll do a quick side quest, and then I'm probably going to do that Azalea, and I'm going to bang that job out as fast as I can because I really don't want to injure that tree at all. So from here, what I'm going to be doing is taking the tips of some, I think these are junipers that are growing up in my backyard, but I'm taking them and I'm going to be paring them down so that they're hopefully clonable. That's a bit small right there. I don't know if that one will work. This is an awfully large piece here that I could maybe get to go, but I'm gonna have to cut it down quite a bit. Up here, there seems to be a lot of new growth in here. And it makes me think I should almost do like a few. 1, 2. Ouch. Spiny little guys. Let's try that one. That one. Definitely this one. Need my snippers. I guess we can see if that one goes. That one's really small. And then this is kind of our apex here. Pretty sure I can get 1, 2, 3, probably 3 good little semi-hardwood cuttings out of this part. Uh-oh, 2 of them got stripped, so 1 semi-hardwood. Where's my trash pile? My hands are getting sap on them too. Ugh. So this could be a semi-hardwood right there. This is a pretty good bit here. But I can get this one to go. From here down. And then this one I might be able to get to work from here down. Kind of like that. That's a maybe. What I'm looking for is nice shoots of green. That means that it's all new growth. And then if you get a nice shoot of green that goes to more of a hardwood, that means it has a pretty good chance of taking. So we try those. I'm just peeling these apart at the nodes. Different people have different techniques. I'm gonna do a little bit of peeling on them. And here's our very apex here, it looks like. That one's just trash at this point. That one might work. Ah, and here's a real nice piece right here. I really think I can make this one work. So let me get my clippers out. Do a little bit of snipping. Snipping and clipping. There. A lot of really good candidates in here. I think I want to try and make this one work. If I pull off that piece, that could work. This piece right here is nice. That's a good one. Ah, we're getting lots of nice fresh shoots here. I don't know if that one will take, but we can try. This one could take if we go down to here. We go down to about there. This one should work. Could work. And then we could even peel a shorter one off. Just like that. Ah, this branch is full of good fresh pieces here. And this is kind of a volume game. I will be planting some of these smaller pieces just like this to see how they do. As well as some of the larger pieces that I'll take some of the semi-hardwood off. And then there's ones that are even green into the semi-hardwood, which I think I'll have the best chances with there. This will have a really good chance if I bring it down a bit. Maybe say there. These are nice. These are real nice. I think it's too risky to do these together, so I'm gonna just peel this one off. And then this one I'll cut right here. See lots of nice fresh growth. That one I think has a good chance. Now here's an interesting little piece. Here's an interesting piece I could try just out of curiosity. I don't know if it'll take, but it would make a cool shape. Going outward like that. Okay, what else do we have to work with? Just a couple little guys here that I'm peeling off at the node. I think this one could have a chance on its own, and then maybe this whole tip could have a go from here down. Only want to keep it, 4 to 6 inches max. I mean, this is a ton of material. I'm gonna have to pick and choose which ones look the best. Like this here. This is the very apex of the tree. I think that these are gonna have the best chance of survival right here. So I'm gonna cut those off real quick and then just work with them. That's a good take. This is a nice take right here. And then this will be a nice little double right here. Cut to about there. Okay. I'm wondering if I should try and get a couple of these to propagate as larger trees. Maybe. Let me set those off to the side for a sec. Is there anything that's just absolutely unpassable here? Probably this one. I'm gonna try and take some of the better yield off the lower parts of these, and they might end up getting just plopped in as larger attempts right here, like this. Those will go into a different container though. I can fit quite a few starts into one container, which is really nice. Wow, this one has lots of little baby starts on it. This entire branch looks like it took off this year. So this has lots of nice fresh pieces to pick from. Let's take a look. So starting from the bottom, might be able to get a cool little piece out of that. So what I'm gonna try and do is actually cut this here, because as well as just some formal uprights, it'd be nice to get some kind of oddly shaped ones as well. And this is more of your formal upright, just a nice green, and then one that I've got a little bit more semi-hardwood to work with. Oh yeah, this part's just ripe. So yeah, I might end up tearing too many of these down too far. See, this is starting to get way too thick of hardwood, so I mean, this stuff isn't really all that useful down here, unless you start picking off these, which are more the peel and plays here, the little less serious contenders. I could probably cut this one down to maybe here. And we could attempt having this one go. I'll leave that in the... I guess it's in the smaller section. I think this one is way too tempting to make into two. Right at the split. Like that. I'll just take the lowers off of this. And that'll make a nice piece. And then that'll make a nice piece too if it takes. A little taller. I do want some taller ones, so just cutting off kind of the jagged edge there. Looks like we got one more tree to look at, or one more tip to look at. A couple peeling sticks here. That one could be a good one there. This one could be a good one here. And then I think I'll do one more of those traditional off of here and then leave the top 2 to 3 leads, about a pencil thick. Sure. We're gonna run out of room. We can really pack these in here tightly though, so that's no big deal. This is essentially my trash here. I'm gonna get it out of my way. This stuff doesn't show much promise. Goodbye. Better get my rooting hormone because these are gonna want rooting hormone on them. Yeah, these should be cool, man. Hopefully some of them take. And then I'll just throw this one outside to see if it takes as a big piece. Possibility. We'll see. Anyway, just some more cool, you know, yard fodder to play with. So let's get these painted up and packed in. There it is. Got my root hormone. Supposedly works miracles on making this stuff take better. I'm gonna move my yoga blocks so I'm sitting on them because my butt's starting to hurt. There we go. Oh, dang, the coffee's all the way over there. All right, let's get these bad boys put in. So let's do priorities. That seems like a really good viable start. That seems like a really good viable start. This one, I think I want to break down to just this bit here. Just like that. And this one I suppose I could plop in somewhere. Where's all the real good ones? This is a big boy. So that's gonna go in something separate. That's gonna go in like a little separate pot. Just stick it over there for now. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I can really stack these things in. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know, I probably need to choose like my top 5 here. These ones look really good. I think I want to pull these two apart. Yeah, I want to pull these two apart. So those are both very promising. This one looks pretty good too. This one looks good, but I think I've got to get a little bit of it cut off here. Can't even see on OBS. How's everything looking over there, guys? We cool? Yeah, cool. Cool. All right, good. Come on. Okay, there's that. That one looks pretty good to go. Pretty much how it is. This one's a little funky here. It might have to get stripped down. This one could really take. That's kind of just a little bit there. I think this is too hard. That one could take pretty well, smaller one. That one could take pretty well, so I guess it fits small category, tall category, small category, tall category. And I'm just gonna kind of like rotate them back and forth, I think, between the smalls and the large ones. This one's gonna have some rotting on this lower, so I have to take this one off. There's no way that that's gonna be above ground. And then this one, I think I'm gonna even pull those off and snip. There, another small tree. This one's semi-hardwood, but that could work out really well. This is the one weird one I saw. I don't think it's gonna take, guys. It's just, it goes from hardwood to softwood. It's just kind of a junk piece. This might be useful for some fill-in. I like this piece here. I like this piece. I like this piece. This might serve as a fill-in, maybe. I think I have better ones. That one's a decent fill-in. This one could be neat if it goes tall. It's got some scrapage. Might not be as tall as I want it to be, actually. Hang on. Yeah, it's more of a small one. Yeah. Minus this bottom couple branches, that one could take. This one's very vibrant. It could take very easily. This is one that I kind of want to get rid of some of the... You know what? It's spindly. I'll just put it up as is. Okay, these are more of my poles here that could turn into better fill trees. These are just ones that I pulled right off of the stick, so it's kind of got a bit of a peel to it. We'll make this one small. Yeah, these are all our real small ones. I don't want to take too much of the foliage off of these because they're going to be soaking in a lot of their water through their pines here for the next little bit while they don't have any roots. And hopefully that turns around fast. Alright, and then this one can probably cut here. You know, this one I'm a little concerned about, so I'm actually going to make it a bit smaller. This one's probably just going to be trash, and this little guy might be a filler. Take some of that stuff off, just like that. Alright, see how many of these I can pack in here. I'm going to pull a razor out so that I can score off some of the bark. And I think I'm starting with these ones here, huh? Okay. See, this could be 3 softwood starts here, but I think I'm going to turn it into 1 hardwood start, semi-hardwood start here. So we'll send it down about yay far. And I'm just taking a little bit of bark off. I don't mind if there's a bunch of cadmium here. It's going to help soak up water. Some people will even say not to go all the way around, so that it leaves some of that circulatory system intact there. But I'd say that's a pretty solid air layer prep there. Okay, sorry, not air layer, little propagation start. And let's just get these things all treated with some rooting hormone and then dropped into the substrate. There we go. Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna pack these guys in pretty tight. It's not a problem if they're in there tight together. They'll root up, but they'll come apart easily. Or they'll form into little clusters, which could be very cool too. Just for different purposes. There we go. There's one in. Yeah, this one looks very nice. Let's use this guy. So just gently scraping away the bottom inch and a half of outer bark. All that cadmium layer is going to be sucking up all the water for the time being while we establish our new root system. But everything's real green under here, so I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. That's looking pretty good. I'm afraid that I might have gone a little bit too harsh on some of my air layers this year in the way of scraping back too much of the bark so that they end up not getting any type of circulation instead of kind of the tricky circulation that gets them to clone for you. But this one's looking pretty good. Okay. All this fine lava and akadama holding everything in place really well. A little bit of organic soil mixed in, a little bit of sphagnum moss to help keep it wet. Perfect. This will be a really nice one. I mean, it's almost optimal. All green, all this year's growth. Right where it turns to semi-hardwood, we're gonna put our kind of 45-degree cut there. There it goes. And then for the bottom, about an inch or so, we're gonna scrape off the outer bark. Rough up the cadmium layer a little bit so that it does kind of, you know, trip up the hormones into growing roots again. Otherwise, it's just going to try and bark over. And that doesn't do us any favors. Alright, I would say that that bark is pretty well agitated. Yeah. I try to be as consistent as I can, but then every now and then I try something and I'm like, you know what, maybe this is a better technique. I don't know. So sometimes it's nice to mix your techniques up to see what works and what doesn't, but you usually want to label that. Or like have a really consistent, like one pot I've done one way, one pot I've done another way. So they're easy to keep track of what you've done differently. A log, tape, little pieces of tape. I'll put one more layer of lava over these in the end to get them all like real stuck in place. Okay, here goes number 3. Shebang. Yep, right down to the bottom. Okay, and I think I'm gonna go 4 across here. They're standing nice and parallel to each other. They make a nice little formation if you put them side by side like that. Maybe they'll get smaller as they move across. Actually, I'll put a smaller one on this side here. Just at the end. Which one looks really promising? I think I like this one. Where to put my blade? Okay, scrapey scrape. And these bad boys can take a long time to root. When you're working with conifers like this, a lot of time it's at least 4 weeks. At least a month until you get rooting. But it can take up to like 6 months with certain trees. So I'm just gonna let them sit there I'll give them the little tug test every now and then to see if they're showing resistance in the ground, because if they are, that means that they're growing roots, and that's a good thing. Okay, so let's put this one in. Perfect. Okay, just packing some goo in there to hold everything in place. There. It's a good first line. Just give them a little press in between, and then that final layer of lava rock is going to lock them all in place. Okay, what next? Maybe we need to do some like tall ones. Oh yeah, you're right. BRB is still on. I think I have it pretty much out of the way. I think it used to be like right on the screen. Like right across the middle of the screen. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pretty good looking split trunks for the first run there. How about this one? Maybe I need to put some in sideways. How can I get the most to fit? You almost kind of need to like stagger them a little bit. Or fit them in between each other. Yeah, they'll have to go in between, I think. So I can go one there. That's fine. I'll do this one. Alright, bottom inch or so. You know what? This one got torn off of the other branch, so I'm actually going to peel all the way to that node that it peeled off of to give it the best chance of rooting at least on this side, if it doesn't on the other. There we go. Yep, that's looking pretty good. There we are. Yeah, now it's just about how can I get as many of these fitting into here as possible. I have 2 of this size trainer pot for my azalea cuttings, because I'm going to be able to go absolutely mad on the azalea and cut tons of cuttings off of it. That thing has been growing like mad for the last year and a half or so, 2 years. It needs to be brought back under control. It's practically a field tree again at this point. And when I bring it in here, I'm gonna have to move the camera back because it's so big. All right, in we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, these are going in between each other nicely. Okay, good, good. So we see a couple there. 1, 2, 3 in the middle. Boom. Okay, cool. I think I got a system. This one has a really good chance of lasting. If I cut her off here. There. Yeah, perfect. And then from this node down, just like this. Scrapey, scrapey. There we go. Nice. Perfect. Okay, this one's looking really good. Let's slop it up. Give it some tree pheromones. And then I'm going to drop this one right in between these two. I love how the lava does such a good job of locking these in place that I can even like tilt parts of this little orchard back and forth a little bit. Another fun little project I could bring inside is I have a little forest of maples that I made last year out of my yard. Just little seeds flying into the yard. I have a piece about this big with 6 or 7 maples growing out of it, and it's root locked as well. So that needs to be repotted. And I'm thinking about just throwing it onto a slab as like a little mini forest scene. The maples are just about as tall as I want them now. So I get to actually start cutting the big leaves off the top. And that starts encouraging more and more small leaf ramification as its life cycle continues. Try and make those leaves smaller and smaller. I think I'm gonna go with speaking of smaller and smaller, I think I'm gonna go with one of my more moderately sized trees on this spot here. Because I've only got maybe like 5 more big ones that I'm gonna have on the far side of the pot. So let me put in a couple of these little guys. These will make really awesome filler trees when I get around to modeling Silent Hill, or even like any of the Resident Evils from Village onward, or maybe even from Biohazard onward. Just scrape some of this. I think one really cool scene would be the in RE4, the not the castle, but the church that you find Ashley in has a little graveyard out front. And I think it would be cool to recreate the graveyard. It shouldn't be that hard, really. It has a couple of dead trees and then a couple of live trees, and then just kind of like some gravestones and moss and a little walkway. So that seemed like a diorama that I could throw together fairly easily. I think it would really tie it together if I could get some character models. But I need to find somebody who can like 3D custom print character models for me that are like Lego size. And not charge me like, you know, $150 for it. Because I know it's possible. People will throw together models for whatever and 3D print it for you, but I almost wish I could just do it myself. There's more than one model I need. I want to get a tarnished sitting at a... What are you stealing? Tape measure? I want to get a tarnished sitting next to a bonfire. So I think that a bonfire under that last tree, that maple that I had in here, would be really sick. It's a very kind of fantasy looking maple piece. Somebody's ringing my doorbell, y'all. Can I go see who that is really quick? Who is it? Cops? I'll be right back. I'm always way too nice to solicitors, dude. I'm way too nice to solicitors. I rent this house, dude, and I have like 5 people a week at least. 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day. Usually on the weekends with these door-to-door salesmen, and I'm just like, I'm not the lead that you think I am, my man. I rent this house. I don't need pest control. It's already taken care of. Nah, I mean. Is that a thing in Europe? Do people come to your door and just like knock on your door trying to sell pest control, or like, I don't know, lawn service, or like, hey, I'll pick up your dog's poop for you, or hey, have you considered solar on your house? Because I'm constantly bombarded with people trying to sell me shit, And I don't even have to leave the house to experience it, but it's super annoying. I wish that they wouldn't, because they interrupt my stream and they make my dog get freaked out. Is the door-to-door salesman like a purely American phenomenon? There was one time where I showed up for a job interview. It was like a field marketing job or something like that. And I had a feeling it was going to be some scummy, crappy ass, you know, door-to-door thing. But that's exactly what it was. And I did not last more than about 3 doors. I was nice because they certainly did not package the job as door-to-door sales. It was like regional marketing manager. It's like, yeah, okay. And then I go for like the first day ride along and he's doing door-to-door sales. And I was like, brother, not as advertised, first of all. And this ain't the thing for me. I don't like bugging people, first of all. And second of all, I don't like walking around in the Arizona heat getting yelled at by people all day long. So, yeah, I'm going to do something else. Only door service sale people you get are asking if you want to change your internet. Internet, yep. Electric service. Yeah, out here it's more of like a monopoly on electric services. You don't have a choice. Actually, I don't even really have a choice on internet. I literally wanted to get better internet at my house, and they don't serve my cul-de-sac or neighborhood or whatever. My homeowners association probably has a deal with like this specific internet provider, and they kind of suck. Because there's definitely better options available in the area. I literally cannot get better internet. They have a monopoly on it. It sucks. But yeah, I just had like somebody coming by yesterday trying to do pest control, and I was like, bro, I rent this house. Pest control was just out here. The landlord sent them like 5 days ago. They did their job. They got rid of the ants out front. But he still was trying to sell me his pest control service, and I was like, dude, you don't understand. Like, I rent here, and I'm not gonna be here in a year. I don't make those decisions. Go away. What happened to like the old door-to-door salesman that sold like encyclopedias and stuff? See, if somebody was trying to hawk cool stuff to me, not like an encyclopedia is something I would buy, but something with the times. If they were coming by with the Labubu cart, maybe I would pay more attention. Are Labubus still a thing? I haven't heard about them in a while. Yeah, monopolies are like the standard here. Monopolies are absolutely the standard here. That's why so many people are getting screwed out of their electricity with these data center deals and stuff. Because like one company owns all the electricity, so you don't have a choice. There is no competition. They're all for profit. Luckily, I don't have any data centers popping up in my neighborhood yet. But one of our, the state that neighbors us to the south, Kevin O'Leary is trying to build like the world's largest data center down in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is a really cool place. I love that city. It's gonna look hideous with a giant AI data center outside of it, and it's totally gonna mess up all of the wildlife, because that's one of the best things about Utah is great outdoors out there. Cool skiing and snowboarding and hiking and outdoors. They're just gonna go and ruin it all with the world's largest data center right outside of town. I don't know what they're thinking. And I don't know who Kevin O'Leary is, thinking that he can come into America and be like, nah, it's cool, guys. Stop being so anti-capitalist. Come on. I'm from Canada, but Salt Lake City is gonna love having this data center next to your hometown. Well, yeah, go ask the residents of Salt Lake what they think about that. I have a feeling that shit's gonna spread to my town sooner than later. But the place that I live, I think people care a little bit more about the environment. That's one of the reasons that I live where I live. Is that, you know, I can go to the river and expect it to be clean and not full of garbage. Because people actually care about, like, nature out here. It's like the citizens are in this constant battle against the companies to try and keep our forests clean and, you know, not sell out to, like, copper mines and stuff. And it's just terrible. The capitalization of our forests is shameful at the least. That's why I live in the Great Northwest, because I love the outdoors. So stop ruining it. Quit screwing it all up for capital. Let's see here. This one's looking pretty good. It's just a stubborn piece of bark right there. The river under the, yeah, I know. And that's, yeah, I like where I live now. Up in the Northwest, we haven't been inundated by all the trash and everything yet. Like, the river is clean. The river's full of, like, ducks and geese and cranes and turtles and muskrats. And all sorts of cool stuff. I love going down to the river. It's just beautiful and clean and full of life. When I lived down in Arizona, it was the opposite. I went to the river with my friends like one time to go hang out. And down in Arizona, people do not respect nature at all. It was just covered with garbage and like piles of diapers and old food trash. And people literally just show up, shit, and leave, you know? And a wise man told me once that that's what makes us different than animals. What makes humans different than animals is that animals show up and they shit and they leave. That's not how humans are supposed to act. We shouldn't show up, shit, and leave. I'm talking to you, AI companies. Show up, ruin everything, take all the money, and peace out. I know you're out there doing it. But yeah, I only live about, I don't know, a mile away from the river. I was going to go on a bike ride maybe today, if I can fit it in between the stream and burgers and stuff. Maybe one of these days I'll go out on a bike ride down by the river with you guys. I'll do a live stream. I'll just have to get my battery like up to 100% and start streaming right when I leave the parking lot. And I'll take you guys for a bike ride down by the river where I live. It's so beautiful. I live in the city of trees, the Bois. Guy in here, pull a little sphagnum down with it because that's good for the roots. Oh yeah. Okay, that one fits in there good. This one actually kind of pours off the side, so I'm glad that I grabbed this one for the corner there. Oh yeah, dude, Norway is awesome. That everyone owns the country. Yeah, that's the opposite here. Yeah, no, and that's how things should work, you know. And you meet cool people. You know, there are cool Americans. Okay, there are cool Americans, especially like part of the reason I live in the Northwest is because I like the people up here, and they're more like that. If you roll up to, you know, some people, and you're like, hey, do you care if I go fishing in the, you know, stream out on your property? A lot of the time they'll say, yeah, go for it. There's just cool people out here. And then there's the other side where it's like, if you go outside my neighborhood and you kind of go for a ride around the block, the people that live outside of my neighborhood have no like HOAs or anything like that, so they live more like the free folk, and it's awesome. You know, like some people might call them trailer trash, but you know what? They might live in a trailer, but they don't seem like trash because they take nice care of their yards and gardens and everything like that. They're just like good, humble people. And most of them are pretty cool. But a lot of them have signs on their front porch that says, I don't ask who's at the door, I shoot first.
Is everything secured? It's pouring.
What?
It's pouring.
It's pouring outside?
Yes. Is everything out?
How did it start pouring? It was sunny like 10 minutes ago.
No, it's literally pouring.
Oh shit. Okay guys, I gotta make sure that like I don't have a lawnmower or anything that's out in the rain, because apparently it's pouring now. Oh shit, I just heard thunder with my headphones on. What the hell? What's happening? I know, I hear it. What the hell? It wasn't like that 20 minutes ago. Well, I guess that the trees are gonna get a little bit of rain tonight. Let me see, my bike is inside. My lawnmower's inside. My blower is under the cover. The trees are fine. I think we're good. Ooh. That's a pretty ambitious one. I don't know if this one will take, but we'll give it a shot. I got room for like 3 more. I really want to get this one in. I really want to get this one in. That one. That one. And then the rest, maybe I'll just like stick in a bed outside and see if they do okay. I think everything is fine outside. Even if it's raining. So I definitely want these. Let me separate the first string from the second string. First string, first string, first string. Second string. Second string. Second string, first string. Second string. First string, tiny. First string, tiny. It's too small, not worth. This one will make a really cool shape. I just don't know if it's gonna take. I'll try it. And then just a bunch of these little guys. Look at how full this is getting though. My God. I can have a whole little forest of these things. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can only fit maybe like 4 more, so let's see. These two are both real fresh. I'm going to take out 2 of the smaller ones that I don't like, and I'm going to leave the one big one that I'll put in last in the corner. So let's do a couple of smaller ones real quick. Yeah, HOAs are trash. I hate HOAs. It's like they drive around on like a monthly basis just to harass you. Just to harass you over like dandelions in your yard. It's like, bro, dandelions happen. It's not like my yard's covered in them. It's just like they're an unavoidable weed. What do you want me to do? Nuke my yard? Yes is probably their answer. All right, get some of that rooting hormone on there. Yeah, the next house that me and Megan end up in is not going to have an HOA because I want to build myself a nice big studio shop that I can do this bonsai work in. And if things worked out perfectly, I could open up the food business at home again if I had enough space. But that's looking less and less likely. I don't know. I gotta choose what I want to focus on and what I want to pour my heart into. And I don't know if my heart is in cooking anymore, man. It's gotten too tough. Things have gotten awfully corporatized, and it's hard when a small, 2 or 3 person operation that makes insanely good food can't get a kitchen because Panera, Chick-fil-A, and, Chipotle have taken up all of the real estate. There's like no room for good local food anymore. It's all been pushed out. And I hate that because I don't waste my money on chain restaurants like that. They're always trash. I don't even remember the last time I ate like fast food or fast casual food. Oh my god, it is thundering outside. I gotta finish this up and make sure that my backyard isn't getting like blown away. Alright. We've only got a couple more of these to put in anyways. We're getting close. This is turning into a nice dense little forest here. And in a few weeks I'm going to be able to check on them and see if they've taken root. Yeah, I've got 3 strong competitors left. I really like this one, and I really like this one. It's just that the bigger they are, like I said, the less likely they are to take. So I don't want to put too many that have crossed into the heavier hardwood section yet. So maybe these 2 actually need to split, and I need to be less greedy. Yeah, I'm afraid I've got to split and not be too greedy. We're gonna do a shorter on this one. This might make a fine backup shoot, but really I think I'm gonna have a better chance if I take this one from here. Yeah, all that I want is like land. I don't even care so much about my house. Like I could totally live in the most minimalist house and not care because I like spending my time outside. As long as I have a nice room for like my bedroom and my PC room / studio, I'm more than happy. I don't need a bunch of other stuff. I've got a yoga room next door to this room that I like hardly even use. I might pop in there and lift some weights or whatever, but I don't need a whole bunch of indoor space. I want outdoor space. I wouldn't even have like my yoga room and workout room inside if I could have it in an outdoor shop that I could throw the doors open and have some sunshine. I'd much rather be outside like 99% of the time. And that's why it really sucked living in Arizona. Arizona's the worst place in the world to live because you have to go indoors for like 9 months a year and just not leave because it's too damn hot. Alright, I kind of snuck this one into an extra spot here, expanding our yield by 1 more. So maybe I can get both these 2 small ones in here. Just cut this one down a little bit. And you see there's a node right here. It's pretty small, but you guys might be able to see it. It's where another branches trying to take off. If I can get these these root layers, I guess, to start right at a node, that's usually ideal. You're gonna have the best chance of tricking the tree's hormones into making roots if you do that. I want to get a nice Jinshari knife. But the one that I want online is a couple $100. It's like 130 bucks. It's a really nice knife though. My my master has one and I want that. I can't remember the name of it's on like Bonsai Planet or something like that .com. Can't remember the name of the website, but if you search Shari Jin knife and you find one that's about 130 bucks and it looks like an Elden Ring weapon, that's kind of the one that I want. It looks like a really sick halberd. Or halberd. How do you say that? Halberd? Halberd? Halbert, I think. Halbert. Pretty sure Final Fantasy X taught me that word when I was a kid. Halberd. Halbert. You know, there's some of those words that I learned as a kid and I just learned them wrong and I never really like corrected them in my brain. This one's a little bit, I might have cut a little too much off there, but I'll just go a little bit lower on the scrape. A little lighter on the scrape here. There we are. Ah, it smells, it smells like Christmas in here. All right. Sick. Well, that's a full container. Another full container. And I'm pretty sure that these are some type of juniper. Don't think it's a spruce of any type. It's definitely not a pine. I think it has to be some type of juniper. Juniperous. Alright, I'm coming right now to check it out. Alright guys, I gotta go see what the fuck's going on outside because it sounds like Noah is flooding the earth again outside, you guys. So I'm gonna toss a little bit of just lava rock in between all these trees. They'll all fall down when I do a quick shake in water. But the point of it is that I want